Hi, my name is Sarah Scales, and I'm here to tell you about my newscast video, Dread. I'm an affiliate of ACOG, who put on this event on a Friday night, and so therefore I know actually quite a bit about the game and also about the people who are involved in this event. I happen to have my camera, and so there I went taking a newscast of it. I started with kind of a pan view of what was going on. This was kind of already while the game was in motion, but I felt that it provided a pretty good view of the startup of it because someone had just knocked over the Jenga tower, and so I was able to show them building up the Jenga tower again, and also along with people trying to actually play the game on another table with one of the other game masters. I started with the main game master, Katie Mays, with her interview of her explanation of what Dread is, along with how the game actually works, for people who have no idea what this is. And I felt that overlaying it with the actions of people taking the block pieces and putting it at the top of the tower kind of helped reinforce that, along with my one video of someone actually knocking over the tower while they're trying to succeed in taking a block and putting it on in action. I later had used the earlier panoramic view of kind of what was going on later in the video. I didn't have too much video to really work with for this that was exciting enough, so I had to kind of use it again, and I still think it worked pretty well with it. I had used one of my actual clips with the audio of what's actually going on in the game that I used was a scene where, people are talking and no one wants to pull a block from this impossible Jenga tower, and someone who she has never actually even played a tabletop game before decided to risk doing it. And again, it just kind of showed all the interaction of the game master with everyone else. One of the people I interviewed, Shayla Baldwin, who is a freshman and who's never really played many tabletop games as well. Her interview was important to show that just how crazy the games can get. I used a clip along with her interview of someone from her team, which she described being really good at Jenga and just being able to pull the pieces from this crazy tower so we would succeed without knocking it over. I wish I could have been able to put the audio for this scene because the reactions were hilarious. So many of the members around the table just exclaiming in curse words of just utter shock at her ability to do that, and it was pretty fun. The next thing I used was one of actually my friends who you have to stay in character in these games. It's kind of part of the fun. It's a role-playing game, and he realized after doing an action that he did something out of character, and so he needed to salvage the situation as you hear the audio, and so he decided to act in character by reacting violently to what he just did, and in the process of doing that, knocked over the tower. I included this scene because it was one of the funniest moments that happened while we were there, and it was kind of on accident that I even captured this at all, because I expected just to leave this scene because it didn't have a lot in it, but I happened to capture this, and it was just to show just how, even though these games can be kind of intense, at the same time, a lot of funny things can happen as well. And then Lauren McNabb, who is basically Katie Mays' co-game master or GM, her interview screen time had to last the longest, again, because I didn't have a lot of material to work with. And she had a lot of important words to say, so I hoped that, I could be forgiven for have so much FaceTime and talk time about it. Although the scene I do interrupt her with is, unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture much of this scene, even though it was another great moment, which was when one of the players decided to just knock down the tower willingly to automatically succeed in an action, which was to kill someone else. Just to show how backstabbing these games can get and how excited people can get when terrible things happen. Kind of, I guess, the point of it. The last scene I included, unfortunately, I wish I was able to provide better background for it, because it was quite a Dread-like scene, which is someone backstabbing another person. except without trying to automatically succeed while dying in the process, which is what the last person that I showed did. It was kind of an interesting battle of wits because they each had to pull 1 or 2 Jenga blocks in order to succeed in actions to try to kill each other, but the other person could pull a block to dodge. And so it was a constant back and forth battle, but I wanted to include this scene to show the backstabbing in this game and how they can get pretty intense, and that, everyone's always trying to pull the blocks to try to get a better edge over the other person. A lot of the scenes that I did not include in this in this particular video were just simply other people pulling blocks, other people walking around. I didn't get to capture a lot of the narration of the actual story. I didn't feel like it was really a good thing to put in here because there's so much talking over each other with everyone else, because 2 games were pretty much going on even though they overlapped. Just because people were in 2 different towers basically, and they constantly kind of overlapped in the towers. And I just felt like it would be really quite exciting enough. I wanted to make sure I put the most exciting scenes and most important scenes and explanations into this video to fit the 2-minute block. The music I chose for this happened to be video game soundtrack music from Chrono Cross, and I know the song pretty well, and I thought it would fit because of its kind of dark undertones, and that kind of builds up. And I didn't want to put a popular song because I thought the words in the popular song would deter from the words of the dialogue of people speaking in the interviews, and I wanted to kind of keep that sort of creepy feeling going on. I had to end up using Audacity to put my interview dialogue along with my music, which was a bit tedious because I then had to do lip syncing in the actual video making, and had to use a old movie maker program in order to accomplish this. So anyway, those are my annotations for my Dread video, and hope it was somewhat enlightening. Thanks for watching.